This is where the poor coaching happens. Okay, and this is something we fixed from the trials until we got to the Olympic Games. And sorry, Oscar. Oscar's forgiven me that we beat Michelle by 1 set. Oh, okay, sorry. Well, he's being nice to me at least. He's been very hospitable. Okay.
This is one of Jeremy Fischer's practical presentations from Falun. Jeremy talks about basic postural movements and stability and how working on these factors can improve jump performance.
And they have too much amortization at the knee because they don't have the muscle stiffness to handle the speed. That's taking 5% away. If they have external rotation when they put their foot down to try to create lift, that's another 5% they're taking away. If they have ankle or foot or plantar issues because they don't have the stabilization there and it looks like this, that's taking another 5% away from the thigh. So an 8-meter jumper now is reduced to jumping like 760, 770, okay? And until you can make those all as strong as you can for that individual athlete, that's how you're gonna produce big jumps, okay? So I'm making sure, it may be ad nauseum, it may be boring, it may be a very boring step-to-step thing, but from the first day of practice until the last day of the year when the championship, everything I'm trying to do is to have that athlete perform at the highest level, okay? And so I'm gonna have my 2 athletes come on over, and this is gonna be simple, all right? So my first thing is that I wanna see what kind of stabilization and stability these athletes have. So I'm gonna have you guys both take your shoes off, okay? And the reason I have them take their shoes off is, for lack of a better word, look at the shoes on your feet. Those shoes retard your ability to work as each, phalange should work. Okay? I work with Paralympic athletes, or I see Paralympic athletes, and they're able to eat their dinner tight and shoot a bow and arrow with their feet. Okay? If I was to have you coaches simply just take your shoes off and lift up just a single toe, you probably could do it. If I told you to lift 2, you probably couldn't do it. If I asked you to do 3, a lot of you would be bowed out. Okay? Because again, we're not in sunny Southern California where we're barefoot all the time and building the strength of our feet. But you see that, imagine putting a cast on your arm. What would happen to your arm after time? It would atrophy and you lose some of the motion. And that's what's happening when we wear shoes like that all the time. So my one thing is every day in practice we do something barefoot. Okay? It might only be for 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, but I've got to get the sensors back. I want the kinematic sequence. I want to make sure that those feet are responding to the ground and telling me everything I need to know. Okay? And as long as I have these, not to pick on your shoes because I am sponsored by Nike, so I got to be nice, but look at this thick shoe, I'm not getting full response through it. Okay, so even in my practices, if they're warming up and doing things, they might wear these shoes. But then we wear marathoners for a lot of our speed and sprint work. Okay, why a marathon shoe? Because it's flat. It doesn't shorten the Achilles. It's a flat shoe. They get a lot more movement with their feet. Okay, so I want to strengthen up. I don't just go barefoot. I want it to sense itself. So we're going to be able to kind of sense. All right, you guys stand right here. And one of you guys stand right here. Face them. Okay, so for me, I want to be able to sense how much stability and proprioception they should have. Now, if these are my jumpers, and I've done the work, then they should be able to do this no problem. Okay, the first thing you guys are going to do, you stand on your left feet with your right thigh parallel, just like that, hands up to the side, just like this. Okay, and I want you to stand there and balance. We're going to go for about 15 seconds. Okay? So I want you guys to look. Don't just look at the athlete. Look at the stability in their ankle. You see a lot of wobbling, right? All right. So they should be able to do this stuff. I mean, this isn't hard work. We can do this. That's good, guys. Okay. They should be able to do that with very little maneuvering and wobbling in their leg. Okay. All that is sending messages up to them that there's a little bit of instability issues with their ankles, and then that's going to tell us more things because that's going to replicate itself, or something's going to happen in the weight room, and we're going to see it. Okay? All right, now switch legs. Same thing. Okay, and I want you to look at different things. So a little bit of external rotation there. Pretty good there. Legs straight, looks good. Okay? seem to have a little bit more stabilization on this right side for you guys than your left side. All right, relax. Okay, and that's going to tell me certain things too. Is it a right-legged jumper? Do I have more stability on my right side than my left? But that's, I mean, that's good. So athletes should be able to do that 15 seconds. Now we're going to build it. So early on, they're going to do that for a couple weeks, and then we may get a Dynadisc or we may get the blue foam and have them so we make it a little bit more unstable. Okay. All right. Now's the real challenge. Okay. So you're going to left foot, right leg up, hands up. Okay. So go ahead and look at them. Get it up position. Okay. Eyes closed. Very good. Okay, relax. Okay, so very, very good. So he can get to the next level. He's still got a little bit of work to do as far as his proprioception. Okay, but that tells me a lot. Okay, because now I'm going to compare right to left to see the stability, because it looks like he may have a lot. Do you jump off your right leg? Okay, so he's a right-legged jumper, so of course he's going to have more stability on his right side. So now we're going to see right to left as far as asymmetry and bilateral symmetry. Okay, so switch legs. You went through right again, didn't you? Switch legs.
No, I had a left. It was a left.
Was it left out?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Then go up. No. All right, and go. Eyes closed. A little bit more shaking here. A lot better on this one. I
shouldn't have said that.
Man, I shouldn't have said that. We have a saying in the U.S. that says, you pat them on the butt and they poop in your hand. Okay, relax. That's probably inappropriate. Okay, but better stabilization on the right to left, okay? So that's going to tell me certain things. That tells me right now that they have a little bit more stability on the right side than the left. That's okay, all right? Or yours was vice versa, okay? But that's important to me. Because I don't want, I mean, obviously in the events there's going to be a little discrepancy from right to left. But if it's too extreme, what's going to happen? They're going to compensate. And then we're going to start getting compensation injuries. Okay? So now we're going to have the real challenge. Okay. That was, he thought that was the real challenge. That's not even close. Okay? But it's not going to be super hard, I promise that. All right? We just get a good laugh at you guys. That's all. Okay. All right. So all you're going to do right now is you're going to march like this. You look forward. And this is going to be a little bit longer. Close your eyes. All right, but that's, I mean, that tells you a lot. That tells you a lot for your athlete, because the fact of the matter is they both kind of started steering to the right. So if I put them in the middle of the desert and I put them in blindfold, they make a big, huge circle. Okay? Or if you were walking, you'd actually make a big circle. And you'd think like, why can't I leave this desert? Because you're making circles. But that's huge, because the fact is, what prevents us going down the track, veering to our right or veering to our left? Our eyes. They're always correcting us, right? So with the vision, really what his body is truly telling him is that he has a veer to the left, and same. Okay? And there's probably a little bit of anterior rotation, so they move forward just a little bit. Okay? That's what that told me. Simple little drill, but that tells me that there's a little bit of issue from right to left. So we have to build the strength of the left side so that there's less of that. And it also can tell me if I'm doing my warm-up and I'm correctly churning on the muscles and making my hip neutral, there will be a lot less right or left kind of movement and stuff like that. Okay? And so you see that until I get, I mean, how am I going to have my athlete run 10 meters per second down the runway and jump if they can't even walk right now? Okay? So basically, they're good athletes, they've got good sight, so they keep steering and fixing themselves. Okay, so we've got to build the stability and so forth like that with the athlete. Okay, so, all right, now we're going to do the same thing. Okay, now this time you guys are going to have a little bit more lift, because usually when the athletes are good, when they get dynamic, they tend to fix some of those issues. So we're going to check that too. Okay, so you guys are going to be dynamic, and then when I say eyes closed, then close your eyes. Okay, not bad. That was pretty good. Not too much. Kind of got a drifter over here. So no, but it tells me what kind of athlete he is. You jump up your right leg? Okay, so left. So he's a pusher. So he's pushing himself. He's stronger on his left side than his right side, so we've got some right side development stuff to do. Okay? And actually, as soon as he got dynamic, he's got good balance. You saw that already with his right side and his eyes closed and stuff like that. So he'd already graduate to where I might have like a Dynadisc or some kind of foam to work on the balance. You can work on balance all the time. Is this a tough central nervous system, any taxing? No. Okay? This, from time to time, every 2 to 3 weeks, you should be testing this. Okay? Because if you're doing your job, they should not be pretty much moving anywhere. And that's how I know if I'm programming my training and stuff correctly. Okay? Now, you can relax because you've done a really good job. Now we're going to pick on the little bit instability here. Okay? So it's not just the sense of that, but it's funny. We do these drills if the athlete gets hurt, but we don't program it initially without that. So we need to be better at rehabilitation things. And so my thought is that he probably has really good linear movement and really good linear stability. Okay, but now I'm going to test to see what kind of instability he has from a, side sagittal plane kind of thing. Okay, all right. So step in here. Okay. All right, and then face down again. Okay, so now I'm going to put a little tension on here. He's going to stand. He's going to keep his eyes open, and we're going to see how much stability he has. And we do these drills all the time with our athletes. I mean, we do these like twice a week. Okay, because again, you're sensing the kinematic. You want them to be able to have that support when they hit the ground. Think about it. It doesn't matter if it's a distance runner, doesn't matter if it's a sprinter, a jumper. Every time they hit the ground, the more instability they have, the less energy that's going to be returned. Okay? All right, so go ahead. Left leg up. All right, so I'm just got a little bit of tension here, not too much, not too bad. Okay? I don't want to pull them over. Okay, that's not bad. And I would usually hold that for 15 seconds. Okay, and I might do this, and they're working with their partners. Okay, so they've got different tension rubber bands, and they're kind of working. Why don't you pull this for me? Right off top. Okay, so this time you're going to go 90 degrees and pull. Okay. So now we test side to side, lateral. Now we're going to test a little bit of linear. Okay, so leg back up. Okay, and like I thought, pretty good linear stability. Okay, and we'd hold that for 15 seconds. Okay, all right, good. Now let's come other 90 degrees. Okay. All right. So, did you see what he did? Did anybody catch that? Okay, he's getting ready for it, and he turned his foot ever so slightly. Okay, so keep your foot forward. All right, so he knows he's got a little instability there. But we don't want to get him in the habit of hitting the board and having exterior rotation. We want to make sure that we're keeping neutral as possible. Okay, so leg up. Oh, okay, keep that heel down. Okay, so there, relax. Have you sprained your ankle or done anything recently? Are you healthy? Everything's good?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So there's a little bit of issues there that we need to work on, because as soon as he should be able to sit back and put pressure on and shouldn't have slipped like that. So there's some tightness issues probably in his soleus, and that's why his heel came out. Okay, and then we do it from the front. So we just went 90 degrees. Okay. All right. Go ahead. And again, a lot of times, I mean, they tend to have linear. They got good stability. Okay, but okay, you can relax. So we do this for 2 weeks. I mean, this is part of that's part of incorporating the warm up and stuff like that. So now can you go 45 and then go 135? So now you're going at 2 o'clock. So now we've done this for 2 weeks. They've adopted it. 15 seconds. They're able to stand. Now for the next 2 weeks, we're going to change the parameters. Right? We're going to have a little bit more cross. So we're going to go. Like 45 degrees, we're going to go 135. We're going to kind of change the hands on the clock, get a little different angle on it. Okay, so same thing. Okay, so not bad, all right? Good stability there. Okay, relax. Let's go 90 right through here. See what we got here. All right, go ahead. Get it. Yeah, good. All right, and we don't have to go. But you would do both legs, do it for about 15 seconds, and You're retraining this. It's funny, if they sprain their ankle and they go to the physical therapist or whatever, that's the drills they're going to do to kind of retrain that system. If they ever get hurt, these drills are important because those motor pathways and stuff like that, they get severed. We got to reconnect it. Okay, and so, I mean, if you build it, all right, stronger, then it's going to stay healthier. Okay, a lot of that is proprioception. So you have your peroneals right here, and they're stabilizing to the ground. He's going to take out those instabilities. So when he hits the board, it's going to be a stiff nail, and that's exactly what we want. And so we're going to go through those different parameters, and we'll do that for about 8 to 10 weeks. Okay, and then after we've done, and we're getting to that point, then we can progress with some of our other drills. Okay, but if you don't build a solid structure, then a lot of these other drills and stuff you're going to do aren't going to matter. All right, in these things, all right, and so let's say they've done 4 weeks. Okay, they've done 4 weeks of training. They're able to keep their eyes closed. They're not moving and so forth like that. You know, we've done the drills to, you know, turn on the glutes and turn on the core and all that kind of stuff, and they're good to go. All right, so we've gone through the stability. Then it's time to start going and incorporating some of the drills that we were doing earlier. Okay, you guys can finish. We'll progress through some of the jump drills, but again, we want to eliminate some of that instability, and that's the most important thing. All right, and so we'll progress through some of these drills, and they literally go from simplistic, easy drills to more complex. I mean, the only thing that we may do is you add intensity. Okay, you may add some weight with the weight vest or something like that, but we're going from very general training to a lot more specific as we go later in the year.